Hey guys, Life Through a Lens here. So, I didn't quite know exactly what to do for this episode. I mean, not that I ever do. A lot of it is kind of improvised, but there is like maybe a couple of episodes where I had it pre planned. The holiday special, pre planned, including the edits. The I believe it was the third episode called Bathroom Talk. That was planned because it was just kind of an idea I wanted to really hold on to because I thought it was a very fascinating subject for whatever reason. I mean, hey, it kind of worked from what I've heard from other people's opinions. It's quite a hilarious episode compared to the rest. So, I mean, hey, it worked out. I guess for starters, I do kind of owe you guys a bit of an update on what I discussed in the Shave With Me video. So, if it's not already noticeable to some of you guys, because I know some of you guys know me personally, but I guess just as a general announcement, the person I asked out said yes. Took that person out to dinner. Was a very nice night. Popped the question. Absolute yes. Like it was set in stone. I can see it in their eyes. I can feel it. It's still like it's still kind of unreal that I am not single anymore. And it's just like, I guess to kind of open up a tiny bit, it's because I've had not so good relationships. I mean, I've had fairly decent ones. I think a good handful ended pretty well, but there was others that kind of left me very damaged and hurt. So I guess as an example, like the latest relationship that I've gotten out of back in, I want to say like fallish, winterish, about fall, yeah. I want to say that one was not nice whatsoever. That one had me completely destroyed. It had me completely lost and thrown for a spiral. So many things happened between that point and now. So honestly, it feels great seeing this journey start and starting it with a person that I confidently can tell and feel and sense that this is the right person to take a chance with. You know, very healthy connection, very great chemistry. Like so far, there just has not been anything bad that I can note. And it's like, most importantly, it's like I feel love. I actually feel the connection. It doesn't feel like there's some type of strain, or it doesn't feel like a chore or a battle to, you know, get the relationship going. I mean, the relationship by far has not gone on for too long. If anything, it has been exactly 10 days. But for a little bit of context, I have been talking to this person for about a month or so. And it's like, even during that whole talking stage, despite my hesitancy and despite feeling iffy, which was also due to past relationships kind of causing that, it's like the moment I popped that question on the 13th, like even on the 12th, that very day on the 12th, that was like the day that I like fully sat down with myself and said, okay, is this a journey I want to embark on, or is this something I want to either hold off or put into question? Do I want to like look around a little longer before I do this? And by the end of that day, I said, this is the person I want to take a chance with. This is the person I want to try things out and see where it leads. So fast forward to the next day, the 13th, went out for dinner, stood outside for a good moment. You know, a scene is set, everything. It's romantic. Popped the question. And after hearing that yes, it's like it was still ringing in my head. I was like, wait, I was given a yes. It's just like to verify that yes, this is a new chapter. You know, I no longer sit in limbo. I no longer deal with this struggle of feeling alone or feeling unlovable. Because admittedly, yeah, I was kind of struggling with attractions and kind of differentiating. And I was also kind of struggling with feeling lovable on a romantic level. So that whole weekend alone was like that wake up call telling me, saying, to say, yes, go for it, shoot your shot. You know, this is a worthy chapter to open up. And by far within the 10 days, it has proven such. And I guess to address the person directly, without stating a name, but to address the person directly, by far, these 10 days have been amazing. I am so glad to have you in my life, and I'm so glad that by far things have gone well. I am excited to see where things lead going forward. So it's like, I don't know, every single day, every single hour, I'm like, damn, I'm actually like off the market. I've actually found someone, because I'll be honest, it's like because of how much I've been battling with myself with like all these attractions and such, I honestly was kind of a bit on a hiatus. Like I kind of had dating apps going, but they were running in the background. And it's like I didn't think I was going to find someone or even begin talking to someone until maybe later this year or going into sometime next year or just any like year in the future. I didn't think that this year around this time I would find someone. And honestly, I thank the friend that put me on to this person, because if it wasn't for them, damn, would I still feel lonely. Like in hindsight, I can kind of laugh at it. It's like for a moment of time, it's like, yeah, I did feel very, very lonely. I did feel kind of sad about that. And there was moments where I kind of just kept battling myself, because I'm like, am I attracted to this person because I actually have feelings, or am I attracted to this person because it's like, wow, this person's attractive? I was so messed up from the latest relationship that I truly could not differentiate between actual attraction and just pure human nature, especially as a testosterone carrier. So it's like knowing how guys are, the moment they see an attractive person, they're like, dang, that person's really attractive. And it's like their mind's dead set on that person or whoever they're looking at. But sometimes it can be a bit problematic getting like a sense of, is this romantical or is this just me saying, dang, this person's cute? And for a small moment of time, that's what I was kind of battling with. Because admittedly, before my current partner, there was like a couple of people where I'm like, this person's attractive, but is this someone I would actually pursue after? And that's kind of how it was with my current partner. And I'm glad that I took that jump and decided to pursue. Because I feel like if I didn't, I definitely would be not so well. Because I really need like an admittedly counter. This is like, this is kind of like a therapeutic episode, I guess. It's like, admittedly, yeah, I was not doing so well. And it's just like to see this kind of opportunity and to take that leap of faith, even when I was slightly unsure. It's like, yeah, there really is no regrets to it. I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. And I'm glad that I didn't sit around for any other person, because out of anyone else I found attractive and felt attraction and chemistry with, this was the one person that really like spoke to me, both in a literal and metaphorical sense. Because it's like I said, yeah, I found people attractive, but it was that question of to pursue or to not pursue. And if you guys remember back in, I believe it was the 9th episode. Actually, funny enough, I have my laptop pulled up here. Let me check this out. It was either the 8th or 9th episode. I believe it was one of those two, where I had revealed that there was another person that I felt attracted to, but one had my attention more than the other, and this is the outcome of that. because there was a small part of me that wanted to wait a little bit longer. And as I said earlier, I'm glad that I did not wait longer, because I feel like if I waited longer, I would have drawn out a possible opportunity, and I probably would have wasted an opportunity versus scored. So, yeah, your boy's in a relationship. this nerdy, geeky looking person is in a relationship. So, yeah, and it's like, even by far, they've had my back. They've had my back. They've been extremely supportive, and they've already seen like a good glimpse of like my struggles and such. And it feels nice to have them in my corner and to kind of help me be guided away from that darkness. Because if there's one thing I've learned, and sometimes I do need to listen to my own advice, is that even in times of struggle, it is nice to have another person. It's nice to have a helping hand, because doing things alone, although can be possible, most of the time it's not easy, and a lot of the time it's far smoother if it's done with another person. Kind of have that voice of reason, or that outlet, that person to confide in and feel that extra safety. Because I think that was another thing that I struggled with in the past, was feeling that safety, that confidence in a person that I can, rely, that I can confide, that I feel safe. The previous relationship, I did not feel that. I felt like I was offering safety, and I was offering an outlet, and I was offering a person to confide in, but I didn't get that in return. I got merely a facade of that. And honestly, even thinking about it now, I kind of, like, you guys don't see tears, but on the inside, I can tell there's definitely some tears, because in that previous relationship, it felt like a mere facade, trying to feel that comfort and have that person to confide in. And it's like, it sucks realizing that it was just another way for them to kind of reel me in and get me hooked. And all it took was me standing my ground for them to kind of give up the whole charade. Because when I broke up in that relationship, when that breakup happened, there wasn't like a fighting effort to get it going again. They just kind of threw their hands up and said, okay, and walked away as if nothing happened. Even went as far as to find a guy like a couple days after the breakup. And it's like, I remember a week or so prior to that breakup, I was like asking, I was like, am I replaceable? Like this, that, and the third. I was pouring my heart out. And it's like, at that time, they were like, oh, no, you're not replaceable. No, we love you. It's like you love me, right? And then a week later, I'm not going to give full context because it's not necessarily my position to share. But after something serious happened, and after I confronted the matter, it seemed like they noticed that I no longer was falling for their lies, their deception, and realized that I could no longer be swindled. Because throughout that relationship, majority of the time, it felt like I was being swung around like a trophy, a trophy with a wallet attached to it. Because if there's a little bit that I'll confess to, it's that September was like the worst month for me financially. And it was because of that person. Because little did I know, they were taking advantage of my kindness, my courage, my love and affection and support. They started taking advantage of my kindness and treated it like a weakness. And it only took me towards the end of that month, going into the month after, to realize that that's what they were doing. And I realized that I was ranting to my best friend a whole lot more than I was speaking positive about the relationship and about that partner. So although it wasn't like a direct impact, I was more so affected by the fact that they allowed me to put in all that time and effort and kind of allow me to waste that time and effort when all of that could have been put towards another person. And it's like, since then, I've just always had some skeptical thoughts and feelings whenever I either felt attracted to someone or whenever it seemed like someone was attracted to me. I never really could differentiate, and I was always like scared to approach things, and I was even scared to reveal a little bit of that feeling from myself. So to kind of fast forward to March, and I think it was beginning of March because I remember talking to this person prior to my birthday. You know, it's like my friend puts me on to this person, said that, hey, yeah, you know, they've noticed certain things and said that, you know, you're cool, this, that, and the third. Here's their socials. I was like, all right, sweet. Let me start talking to them. And it's like from there, it was just a constant uphill. Everything was just positive and everything new started to unfold. It was just, yeah, I guess like the best way I can describe it, ever since that very first day talking to them, it was just progression, progression, progression. It was all positive, and each and every single time we talked, it was a whole new experience, and it was, you know, new things being learned, so on and so forth. And with each time, I felt our connection grow, and my heart actually like raced, and I felt feelings. And this time around, despite that hesitancy and despite a little bit of that confusion, all the way up until the very weekend I asked them out, it's like, although it was like a back and forth between, do I like this person or do I see them as just attractive? Right as I reached that weekend, that's when I confirmed that, yeah, I really, really like this person. I really, really want to take a chance with them. I'm really hoping I don't get emotional on camera. I don't think I will. I don't feel tears, but I think you guys can pick up on it within tone and so on and so forth. It's just like, even within that very moment when other bad things were going on, and even when issues with some people was happening, it's like it really kind of confirmed to me that, yeah, I need to sit down, discuss with myself a little bit, and finally take it serious and take that leap. You know, it's like you never know how things are going to unfold until you take that chance. And it was even because of the whole issues that was going on days prior to that that made me realize that, yeah, this is my wake up call. This is to take a new course in life. And as you guys can tell, I'm extremely happy. I'm happy. I'm filled with emotion. And it's like it still feels so surreal. It just a part of me is still having a hard time grasping that, yeah, I asked that person out and they said yes. And now we're in a relationship, and now I don't have to worry about the struggles of loneliness and attraction. Now I don't have to worry about that because I know for certain this person is in my corner. This person loves me. This person cares about me. And there's no shiftiness going on. It's like I'm still learning to accept that as my reality after being so used to conflict and issue and struggle and confusion and questioning. After dealing with all of that for however long in my life, it's like to finally feel confident. Like I can't, like when it comes to a relationship, there's no telling as to whether or not it's going to last for long, but with each time you can only hope that it does last long. And I'm really hoping, and I can kind of feel within myself that this is going to last very long. And I'm ready to. Wow. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be the most real episode that I have put out. Up next to, I think, wait, literally like episode 2 or 3 or 4, I should say, episode 4. Because episode 4 was when I kind of unraveled some of these issues, and now here I am at, was this episode 11 now, where it just kind of wraps back around, and it's like, wow, instead of doing a full loop, I'm actually branching off from that cycle of like unhealthy relationships or questionable relationships. This is actually something that I don't have to question as to whether or not it's genuine. And this is something I don't have to feel a hassle or conflict with. Like even right now, even right now, like, yeah, I'm not crying, but I can tell that this relationship means something to me, and that this is the right path to take, and that I was very much so in the right position to ask them out instead of waiting. Because I really, really was going to wait. I was going to extend at least a week longer before considering whether or not I should ask. But I'm glad that while I was out and about with my family a day prior, I shot the text and said, hey, you want to move dinner to this weekend instead? I'm glad that I did that. Because ever since then, all I've felt was just pure happiness and safety and security. And it's like I even feel a shift within myself. I feel a light within me, because even prior to that, I didn't feel as much of a light, but I could tell that there was a light being attempted to shine within me. And now that this relationship is in motion, all I feel is that light beaming within me. I feel much better and much lighter. I feel less alone. Because even in some past relationships, despite having a person, I still felt alone. So to finally not feel as alone, it's just like it's like it's not new, but it is definitely newish. And that's kind of a nod to my previous episode that I titled Newish View because of the glasses. But it's just it's refreshing, you know. Like I haven't felt this way about a relationship in so long. And to let alone feel this, like not even just feel this refreshing feeling, but to also feel it unfold even more and flourish instead of just being a presence. It's just it's taking a lot for me to soak in. I think, yeah, to be direct again to that very person, thank you. I feel very honored to start this new journey, and I can't wait to see how far this journey goes and what happens along it. I love you. I love you a lot. And I feel like me saying it, like verbally and textually, it's not enough to showcase that. But I really mean it. And I thank you so much for having you by my side even during my darkest times. I could never be I can't even find the words. I can't even find the words for how grateful and thankful I am. In a moment of darkness, you brought light, and you managed to help me get back on my feet and be who I am. And you invoked this new sense of feeling, this new drive, this new like motivation within me to be whole again and get back on course. Not only that, but to like follow my passions, my dreams. Like, as you guys have noticed, I've put out an episode of my new project, Alan. I've been sitting on that project for so long. In fact, I've been sitting on that project since the inception of this channel. I've always wanted to do something like this, but only as of the beginning of this channel have I actually put it into writing and have actually started to plot out how I wanted to approach it and what this whole story is. And it's like, a part of me didn't want to embark on that because I did not feel that motivation. I did not feel that fire because I felt far too alone to even focus on something like that. Not to mention, it only shows like a little glimpse, but there's quite some emotion to this. This is a bit of a more serious and dramatic project. And it's like, for a while, I felt so emotionally unavailable to make such a passionate and emotionally charged project. And it's like, ever since I've found this amazing person, I feel that spark again, and I feel available to proceed on a project like that and to proceed on future projects, whether it be works of fiction, whether it be in writing textually, whether it be through film. Like, I've always wanted to kind of put my foot in the door of writing and filming and acting. I've always wanted to do that. And it's like, even since high school, for those who know and have been around for that long, that may be watching this channel currently, you know that I've had an old channel where I used to upload all types of stuff on it until I rebranded. But it's like, that whole channel packed a lot of stuff, and part of it was narrative based. And although at the time I did not know how to act properly, me being mid-teens, it's like, it definitely was like a start and a slight presentation that, yeah, I really enjoy narrative based stuff and I really enjoy acting and filming. It was just a matter of practice and putting it into the making. And to finally get around to doing that years later, and to even have the budget to do this, to have the budget, to have the means of doing this, to have the equipment, to have myself for something like this is amazing. I am forever grateful. I mean, as you guys have even noticed, I started becoming more active on this YouTube channel. I'm starting to actually put in the work to get this channel out there. Because although I'm kind of doing this as a hobby, I know that having this kind of channel can open a gateway to film and to writing. And not to mention, as much as it's a hobby, I find it as my own outlet. Gives everyone a glimpse of my life, and also kind of opens the opportunity for others to discuss theirs. A lot of people fear parasocial connection, but this is kind of that channel that, like, ever so slightly blurs the line of that. Think of like Daily Dose. Think of that channel. But instead of like clips and montages or I guess compilations, it's just me capturing life, and Vocal Box being the most raw segment to that, where it's clear cut, unless it's some special episode and it's, or in some cases something might have happened mid episode or mid recording. Most of the time it's pretty clear cut, it's raw. It's like, you guys get to see what happens in full. No jazzing up anything, no hiding away anything. It's like I said, it kind of blurs that line between, parasocial and entertainer. You know, it blurs the connection line between the viewer and the creator. It's like the way I view my viewers of this channel is it's like viewing a family, and I'm sure over time it's going to be quite a big family, but that's how I view it. This is a channel to showcase life, and when I want to showcase life, I want to showcase it in its entirety. The good, the bad, the happy, the saddening, the ever so exciting, the boring. I want to showcase it all in its entirety through every means possible. And it's like, I guess, like, in simple terms, this is kind of like an IRL channel, but this is also going to be the hub of any narrative works that I have. It's like, as I've showcased, Alan is going to be more of a unreal fiction type of series. So it's like, it's non-fictional because it does showcase a lot of things that can happen in the real world, but it also kind of has a hint of fiction, and you guys will kind of see that unfold and see how I navigate that type of genre, because it's unreal fiction, it's drama. I would go as far as to say thriller, but we haven't gotten that far yet to showcase that genre, so that's a to be seen genre that I might venture off in this whole series. Or I might even make a whole other series. I might even make like a little mini series that branches off into a little bit of thriller, or maybe even a tiny bit horror. But overall, on this channel, you're going to see me kind of narratively branch out to all types of interesting ideas while also still showcasing me. There's always going to be a distinction between series me, or I guess I should say narrative me, and real life me. There's always going to be that distinction. Maybe occasionally I'll kind of blur that line just as like a little fun thing, but for the most part, there's always going to be that separation between the two. So, yeah. I think that was a good rambling session for this episode. As I said in the previous one, or as I've showcased in the previous one, maybe even in the description too, that one was kind of shorter. My SD card ran out, so this one for sure is going to be a longer episode. I'm not as much of it in a rush to get this episode done, and that's going to be the case for the rest of the week. As I said before, I am going to try to film another episode so I can put it out on Saturday. This marathon goes from Tuesday to Saturday, but Saturday is going to be jam-packed with a bunch of other stuff outside of this channel. So unfortunately, unless I do it within that night, I'm not going to be able to film anything that day. So yeah, I'm going to try to film 2 episodes on Friday, but the second episode that I film within that day, I'm going to push off into Saturday. And then after that, or I guess after this whole marathon, I was going to upload every Friday, but I think I'm going to make it a habit of at least every Saturday, and then if I can't do that, every weekend. So that kind of leaves an open door for somewhere between Friday to Sunday. So yeah, I think bare minimum, I'm going to try to do it every Saturday, and then if that's not doable, then yeah, it's just going to be somewhere over the weekend. You guys will see in the community posts if and when something's going to get uploaded, or if something's kind of impeding on my upload schedule. But other than that, I feel like having that kind of schedule will help me properly push things out without any complication. You guys know I still have a job outside of this, so it's kind of hard to maintain a channel. Sorry for that. It's kind of hard to maintain a channel while also maintaining a job. So instead of every Friday, I'm doing it every Saturday, just so it's a little easier on me. And plus, it gives me time to film whenever and do however much editing I need to do. Or in case I feel the video is not good enough, I get the chance to shoot another video another day. It leaves enough room creatively to do whatever necessary before having to actually upload the video. But it's like, in a sense, it will help the channel kind of get out there by uploading once every week. And then, if possible, I'll eventually try to introduce twice every week. I don't know. Chances are it'll still be within the same day. So it would still be on a Saturday. But if I could push out more than one video within 1 week, that would be fantastic. I feel like that could really, really help project this channel further. So, yeah, I think that's all I really have to showcase for this episode. I know I rambled. I know I talked a bunch of you guys' ears off, and I know I probably tampered with the retention, but I know for those that really enjoy this kind of content, you wouldn't mind all the rambling and such. So to a lot of people, it's filler. To you guys, it's a worthy listen. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. If you guys have any discussions you want to open up, or if it's anything pertaining to this video's subject matter in particular, feel free to say something in the comments. I'll jump in whenever. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Make sure to click that bell notification. That way you do not miss a single video. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single video, especially if you enjoy this kind of commentary, podcast-ish segment. Marathons like this is going to be a common thing on this channel, so I'm sure you don't want to miss any episode that I drop within one consecutive week. And then on top of that, there is that series Alan. For sure, you don't want to miss that. That is my most passionate and time-consuming project. That is my baby, my child when it comes to this channel. So for sure, be able to have the chance to tune in for that. And then for anyone that likes this kind of content, like this kind of channel, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And apart from all that, this is Life Through a Lens, signing off.